Go.
Hello YouTube. Today I'll be doing a deck profile on Karakuri Turbo. Um, I've had the deck very long time since it came out, and like what I can say, I've been able to keep up with latest meta deck nowadays. And yeah, I'll get to it. So here's the monster count. It's 19. Triple Inasichi. He's a Stratos for the deck. Lets you search up for any Karakuri card, regardless of its spell trap. But I only have Karakuri spells. It's a really wonderful card. Ninishi. She's a tuner. Above that, she's also really. It's like my best friend in the deck. She lets you do an additional normal summon, and if people don't know how to stop this, then it can really go off at times. Nishipachis. This deck requires a lot of tuners, consisting of level 3. And also, because its effect is when he's special or normal summon, you change the battle position of a monster. Regardless if it's face down, you flip it. If it's on your opponent's side, you flip it face up, attack mode. And you see what they're running. Also, they're level 3 tuners. If you only have 2 level 3 tuners, you exceed. Or otherwise, if you can synchro, you go for the synchro. And yeah, it gets various plays. I'll explain also why I run this at 3 also. Here's the Nisamus. They're non-tuners, but they're giant rats of the deck. Really wonderful. I run 3 for particular reasons as well. I'll explain to that. Double Cyber Dragons. They well, you do need level 5 monsters in the deck, and I feel like running 2 Cyber Dragons is pretty good. I was running 1 before, but I decided 2 since what the heck. They come through at times. They're really good. Quicks. These are level 4 non-tuners. What I have to say about this is that when she destroys the monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Karakuri monster and from your graveyard and face up defense. Meaning, what you can do is you attack, you run over their monster. Once it hits the graveyard, you special summon this guy. If they're wide open, you just use his effect on himself. Switch to attack mode the moment he's normal or special summon, and poke for an extra 500. And if you're desperate to get rid of everything, you just do Black Rogues or Landois or other monsters, which I will explain in a bit. Maxi staple. I feel like running 2 was too much, and 1 is still good. You draw into it when you need it, and if you don't, then yeah. Here's also Veiler. 1 of each, really good. Like I feel you have a variety to go out. Saizon, the level 4 tuner. You do need him because yeah, he's a really wonderful card. Most people just use them like in the deck just to synchro with him. However, there are times when you have to remember his other effect, being when he attacks and you take damage involving this card. All Karakuri monsters you control gain 100 attack and defense. Meaning, if you attack, and you take the hit, you can your quick, for example, goes up by 800 attack and defense. Meaning she's a 25 beater. You can run over bigger monsters as well. Above that, you can special summon another Karakuri and go off from there. You already have, if you want another tuner, you just special summon the tuner. You already have 2 tuners and you go off. Also, while in attack mode, he can be destroyed by battle. Another thing I like to point out is that Karakuri monsters, they do have very good effects, but it does have a backside, being of which when if possible, you have to attack with them. So that means if I have a Karakuri monster in face up attack mode and I'm about to go into battle phase, I have to attack. So I suggest like you set up first before you go off, and like when it comes down to it, like it really does go through when you need it though. So yeah, the main monster count is 19, and yeah, it's a really good deck. It's fun to play with, and it's still competitive too. So yeah, these are it for the monsters. Any questions? Just like I am open to suggestions, and yeah. Now for spells. Triple MSTs. This deck hates back row, and these are to help make up for it. Instant fusions. I run Cybersaurus in the extra deck. Like I mentioned, the deck does run a lot of level 3 tuners. So you're trying to go synchro into level 8 a lot most of the time. And these, at the cost of 1,000, it's worth it when you go off because you you have various places to go out from. And these just make the deck even go better. Alright, double desync. Yes, I run desync for two reasons. To say I synchro into Bure or the Burito, their effects being of which when I synchro summon him, I can special summon a Karakuri monster from my deck. So if I do that and then I desync, I already have at least 3 monsters on the field, and from there I just resync and go off again. This card is really amazing. I said like in a Karakuri deck, it's really good. It's really good when you run into it. Also, it's not just for you, but it can also be for your opponent. It's a compose for synchros on your opponent's side of the field as well. And there is no downside to it because the monsters have to be the materials for the synchro have to be in your graveyard. So if you return back a synchro monster that your opponent controls, then they don't get the materials, and you already get rid of a heavy monster. Yeah, that's why I run two. They're really good. I mentioned before, I do run Karakuri cards also, not just Karakuri monsters. Either the caches. They're, in a way, they're sort of like Rhoda, and they help your Karakuri monsters change battle position back and forth. They're really good. You activate it if you're trying to avoid attacking with that monster, or but it's mainly a Rhoda. It's a very good card. It does come in handy. Only downside to it is that like TK does get in its way, and it's really like, and when they have that, it's really tough to get around it. But when you get it beforehand, it's really amazing. I also run double anatomies. I figured what the heck, I'm gonna run double cachet, double anatomy. These are 6 Samurai Uniteds. I ran 3 of each before, but I realized that was too much. 2 is good. You draw into it when you need it. If not, when you just search for it with Inasichi, the Stratos of the deck. You can get either one, cachet or anatomy. It all depends on the situation. If you this deck draws ridiculous, like its draw power is very fast. So yeah, and those are the ones. Then are the staples. Avrice. The reason why I mentioned I run a Nisamu is because you crash into a monster that's not too beefy on attack. Obviously, you're trying to avoid taking as less damage as possible. You crash into it, you use the same one and keep doing it until eventually you have at least 5 monsters in your graveyard. You activate Avrice, then you just shuffle the monsters you just crashed, and it's very good. It also helps for the drop power. Reborn staple, Heavy Storm staple, Dark Hole staple. This card, like I mentioned, the deck hates back row. Like if they stop a play, you're about to go off or something. It's really hard to like come back from it, cause yeah, I mean it's a very offensive aggro deck, but like you have to make sure you do the right plays at the right time. So yeah, the spell count is 15, and it's a very consistent with this. I'm gonna get into the traps. I mentioned that like I've said this various times already, the deck hates back row. So my answer to that is this: decrease, triple decrease. Very good. Yeah, like there's not much to say. Like you don't really use traps. Well, I don't use traps in this deck. It's amazing. And the reason why it has even greater drop power than it normally should is because of these reckless greed. You chain to it as you activate roll the creed during end phase of your opponent's turn. They set. They think they since they if they already know you're running Karakuris, they're gonna try and bluff you out with heavy back row. All you have to do is activate that during end phase of their turn, and you just go off from there. That's it for the main deck. The trap count is only 6, so yeah. In total, it's a 40 card count in the deck, and that's Karakuris. Hello, this is my friend's cat. Her name's Cleo. Yeah. All right. I'll be going to the extra deck now. Cleo. Here's the extra deck. Triple Burai is the main one of the main boss monsters of the deck. The deck consists of two very important monsters. This is one of them, Burai. He this is the answer to many cards such as Spirit Reaper. Like they if it's a wall that you can't get over, you just change his battle position and run over it after. Very good. Also, Burito, the other boss monster, they're brothers. In particularly, he's level 8 synchro. The reason as to this is what you do with the Cyber Dragons is all for this because they're very beefy attack, 28 attack. You can run over a lot of monsters with this. The upside, they work good together. This one changes battle position of monsters on the field, and this one helps you draw once per turn when you change the battle position of a Karakuri monster you control. So that's how the deck keeps it's really in sync with each other, and it's just really amazing when it goes off. These are the two cyber sources for the two instant fusions. You only use them for the material for Burito, and it's a machine. So yeah. And here's Stardust, Black Rose, Catastor. I want to point out that Catastor, everyone knows how boss it is. It helps you get very fast over Gachi Gachi. The first attack goes through. They have to take out detach their exit material. Its defense becomes 2,000. Then the actual attack goes through, which is 22. You already get rid of all materials Gachi Gachi has. Above that, he's also level 5 machine, so you can also use him as a material for Burito. I mentioned that the deck has a lot of level 3 tuners, so this is very heavy on level 8 synchros. Beast, Lockdown. The deck is also a lockdown, so like this card comes in handy a lot of times when you have the right play. Landois, your deck is spell heavy, so you're gonna want to do him when for the lockdown as well. I want to point out I do run these exceeds, being Heliopolis and Big Eye, rank 8 and rank 7, because sometimes you might this isn't like most people might not find it a problem, but in a Karakuri deck you might, since you're trying to synchro summon as many different monsters as possible. So sometimes Cleo, hello, yeah. So sometimes you're trying to go beast when you don't have enough room. What you do, you exceed the 2 Burais, and you have a Big Eye. Not only is he a mind control, but you can also, if you can go off even more, you just do beast after. So you already have a mind control on your side of the field and a beast, and that works for the lockdown. And the same goes for Heliopolis, level 8, rank 8 monster. You just do 2 Buratos, same reason. You're trying to get a lockdown monster during your main phase 2. This is after you go off. And yeah, like he just pops anything. So if there is a monster which you can't get over at the time, you just exceed into him. And yeah, the deck's really consistent. And I also want to point out that these are 5 other cards that I do kind of side deck into, or like trying to see which one to make room. Barkion being like, I don't really sink into him much, but since I have World Decree, but he's a walking decree, so I can go for him if I don't have the cards at the time. Zenmayo, you synchro into level 5s a lot, so you just exceed into him once you have World Decree out. You pop the two face downs, and yeah, he's also 26, so he's pretty beefy. Chimera Tech for mirror match or any other machine deck such as gadgets or machinas. That means sometimes you might not have a non-tuner, but you might have 2 or more level 3 monsters, so you just exceed. Yeah, he's just defense and the Scribe Dragon. Yeah, you just you use his effect on the Royal Decree. If you know you already have another one set. That way you can just keep going off again. Yeah, the deck is it's really competitive, and I've gone to regionals a few times with it. I only topped once, but it's still very good. Well, I just support anyone who's interested in trying to make it, and I can also offer help, like any suggestions. I'm also open to hearing, and yeah, that'll be all. But Well, that's it for the deck though. So